I wanted just to touch a little bit on young people and anyone really, but people who have got dreams about who they want to be, what kind of life they want to live, but their belief is that they're not good enough or they're not capable of achieving those things. Do you have any advice to people who have got that mindset, people who don't believe in themselves?
Yeah, look, I would say that that is the human norm. The most common self-defeating and distorted belief that people have that holds them back is I'm not good enough in some way. It leads to all sorts of poor choices in terms of relationships, career, and life. And recognizing that actually it's completely normal to have self-doubt. Self-doubt is a wonderful thing. You know, one of the diagnostic criteria of a psychopath is that they lack self-doubt. Self-doubt is the norm. Not thinking it's indicative of there being something wrong with you is a key start. Once you realize that it's a normal human experience, then it's way easier to hear that voice and to choose to turn down the volume, to choose not to be held back by it, to choose to do what you know is right and true for you anyway, despite hearing that voice. But if you think it's just you who experiences that, you think everyone else is walking around feeling confident and you're the only one with the self-doubt, then it will hold you back. So normalize, recognize it's the normal human experience. It's not something to be worried about or to feel a sense of shame about. There's nothing wrong with you for having self-doubt, but it's a matter of going, this is normal, but also I'm not going to let it hold me back. I'm not going to let it stop me from being who I want to be. I tell you what, in the research that's come out of palliative care in terms of the most common deathbed regrets people have, one of them is, I wish I'd had the courage to lead a life that was true to myself, not what other people expected of me. That's heavily driven as well by that sort of like self-doubt and over-concern about, you know, other people's opinions of us and what it would mean and how people might judge us if we fail. But actually, being able to recognize that so much of that driver and concern is because of this self-focus we have where we imagine we're the center of everyone else's universes and they really care that much about our failings or our successes is something to overcome. But also as well, another one of the most common, another one of the top 5 deathbed regrets is, I wish I'd let myself be happier. Geez, how much self-imposed misery and suffering is there because we're so busy focusing on this negative inner critic, this negative voice, and buying into that stuff as opposed to going, hey, look, it's normal to have this inner bully, to have this inner critic, to have this inner voice of doubt, but also it's something where I can learn to be less governed and constrained by it. And also, you know, it's something where I just need to get out of my own way. And a key idea here, I'd say to people, is when you find yourself feeling that self-doubt and that uncertainty, ask yourself this: what advice would you be giving to someone else in the same set of circumstances who you love and care about? Because I bet you it would be go for it. I bet you it would be so much more positive and affirming than what it is you're saying to yourself. So give that a go. Follow your own advice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, eh? You quite often you can easily give other people advice about how they should feel or what they should do, but taking your own advice can be the hardest part.
Oh, mate, that's why I love that quote. I love the quote, which is, here, you can have my advice. I don't need it anyway. I'm not going to use it, you know.
It's
So
so
I
true.
think, you know, hey, just getting a bit better at that.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, and also as well, you know, you think about medicine as such a caring profession. I mean, obviously there are some good exceptions to that, with, you know, some of your surgeons and the rest of who you want to be task-focused technicians, right? You
Yeah,
want
yeah.
that. You know, I don't want my surgeon bloody crying over me out of empathy when they're trying to perform an operation.
Yeah.
But in general, it is a caring profession. And, you know, again, the irony is that care being all directed to everyone out there rather than oneself.
Yeah.
Charity starts at home.
Yeah.
Unless you're using that same level of compassion and acceptance towards yourself, you're not going to be squared away enough to really add the value you could to others.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the journey here. Whatever you're experiencing right now is normal and abnormal circumstances. Be more self-accepting, be more self-compassionate, and, you know, choose to dial down the voice of that inner critic, that inner bully, and follow the advice you'd give to someone else who you loved and cared about. Because if you don't do that, then you're not loving and caring about yourself in the way that's going to give you the opportunity to avoid that deathbed regret about not letting yourself be happier.
Yeah.
That's the challenge.